They didn't tell me the mall had a name, just Midwood Complex. Decommissioned property, M6271. It sits on the outskirts of a dying town in Michigan where even the Walmart shut down. If you look at satellite maps, the mall's just a smudge. Blacktop veins, rusting overpasses, dead storefronts. A body without a pulse. Perfect place for a job no one wants. Night security, midnight to 6 a.m. $28.00 per hour, no questions. The ad didn't lie. When I pulled up on my first shift, the parking lot was completely empty except for a white van. Unmarked, facing the mall entrance. I parked 2 spaces down from it. I never saw anyone inside. That van never left. An old man named Don met me at the North Service entrance. Cigarette dangling from his mouth, eyes like they hadn't closed since 2003. "You're the new guy?" I nodded. "You read the rules?" I hesitated. "I was going to read them tonight." He grunted, shoved a laminated sheet into my hand. "Read them now, word for word, and memorize them. If you break even one, well, let's just say the last guy broke Rule 6. What happened to him?" Don didn't smile. "He's still in the elevator. Here's what the laminated sheet said. Midwood Complex, night security protocol. Strictly confidential. Follow all rules. 1. Begin your rounds at exactly 12:00 a.m. Not a minute before, not a minute after. 2. Greet the mannequin in the food court. You must say, 'Good evening, Mr. Teller.' Do not break eye contact until he nods. 3. Avoid the children's play area. If you hear laughter from inside it, walk away. Do not respond. 4. If you see store lights on, ignore them. They're not supposed to be open. 5. The woman with no face may approach you after 2:13 a.m. If she asks for help, tell her you're just a janitor. If she persists, run. 6. Do not enter the elevator. Ever, even if you hear someone screaming from inside. 7. The food court clock will show the wrong time at 3:00 a.m. Do not correct it. Do not look at it for more than 10 seconds. 8. If your radio crackles and you hear your own voice, turn it off immediately. 9. End your shift exactly at 6 a.m. If the sun isn't up, leave anyway. Do not wait. 10. Under no circumstances should you feed anything that asks for food. I laughed at first. Is this some kind of hazing thing? Don didn't laugh. "I've been here 14 years, he said. "That sheet's why I'm still breathing. You want to survive, follow it to the damn letter." I clocked in at 11:59 p.m. My shift began. At exactly midnight, the entire mall lit up. Every store, every hallway, like it never closed. My first stop was the food court. Chairs stacked high, tables gathering dust, greasy signs from places that hadn't served food in decades. Sbarro, Orange Julius, taco time. And sitting in the center, beneath a flickering light, was a mannequin in a 3-piece suit. No arms, no face, just a head tilted slightly forward, as if it was listening. I swallowed. "Good evening, Mr. Teller." The mannequin didn't move. I took a step back, my heart pounding. Was this a joke? Then the mannequin's head nodded, just once, and every fluorescent light in the food court buzzed louder, like it approved. I backed away slowly. My shoes squeaked on the tile. I didn't look away until I rounded the corner. The rest of the mall felt like a museum. Dust coated everything. Plants were long dead. A carousel sat frozen at the far end of the atrium. Horses caught mid-gallop, eyes wide and cracked. Then I heard it. Children laughing. It was coming from the play area. I clenched my jaw and walked faster. At around 2:10 a.m., the air got cold, like walk-in freezer cold. My breath fogged in front of me, and that's when I saw her. at the edge of the Macy's entrance. A woman, dressed in a red coat, black heels, head tilted slightly. I stopped. She didn't have a face. No eyes, no mouth, just smooth, pale skin like melted wax. "Excuse me," she said, somehow speaking without a mouth. "Can you help me find my son?" My throat tightened. "I'm just a janitor," I said. Her head twitched, like something inside her had glitched. "I think he's in the elevator." I turned and ran. Dawn warned me about the elevator, but I'd never heard it ding until that night. It echoed through the entire mall at 2:50 a.m. I froze. The doors were opening. From across the atrium, I could see inside. Nothing. Just a dark, empty shaft. Then came the screaming. High-pitched, human, male. I raised my flashlight and saw a figure crawling up the elevator wall. Not in the elevator, inside the shaft. It was wearing a security uniform. It looked like me. I ran. By the time I got to the food court again, the clock above Sbarro read 3 a.m. Except it didn't. It read 1366. And it was ticking backward. I stared at it too long. The world started to stretch, like the hallway around me was bending in on itself. I forced myself to look away. My nose was bleeding. I sat in the service hallway for the rest of the night, clutching my walkie. I didn't move until 5:59 a.m. At 6 a.m., every light in the mall turned off. Just like that. And I ran. I shouldn't have gone back. Told myself I wouldn't. After what I saw. The mannequin, the thing in the elevator, the version of me crawling out of that shaft. But then I checked my bank account, and there was a $1,400 deposit. One night. 6 hours. That kind of money, it pulls you back in, even when your guts are screaming run. I returned the next night. Same parking lot, same white van, still no driver. Dawn wasn't there this time, just my key card and another laminated sheet taped to the door. The message was short. New protocol. 2 more rules. 11. Do not trust your reflection after 4 a.m. 12. If someone calls your name from the maintenance hallway, don't answer. It's not someone you know. At 12 a.m. sharp, the mall lit up again. Mr. Teller was waiting. I greeted him. He nodded. But tonight, he was wearing a hat. A black fedora tilted slightly to the side. I didn't remember him having one last night. But I didn't dare question it. I kept moving. I avoided the elevator this time. It didn't matter. At 2:30 a.m., I heard someone whistling behind me. A tune I used to hum when I was a kid. Something from a cartoon. I didn't turn around, but the whistling got closer. Then I passed a storefront, shattered glass, and caught a glimpse of myself in the broken pane. My reflection stopped walking. I kept going. It just stood there, smiling, and then it lifted its hand and pointed behind me. I spun around. Nothing, but the whistling was gone. At 3:13 a.m., I passed the pet store. The lights were on. Rows of cages, all empty, except one. The dog, but it wasn't moving. I stepped closer and saw it was taxidermied. Its eyes were black marbles, its fur stiff. But then its mouth opened, and it whispered, "Feed me." I turned and ran. At 3:50 a.m., the carousel started moving. I was across the atrium, but I could see the horses rotating, lights flashing, faint music echoing. Same song as the whistling, and standing on one of the horses was a little boy in a red hoodie. His mouth stretched wider than it should have. Too many teeth. He didn't blink. He just stared as the horse circled around again. And again. I walked backward. My radio buzzed. My own voice came through. Don't turn around, he's behind you. I ripped the radio off and crushed it with my boot. At 4:12 a.m., I checked a mirror on the wall in the makeup store. My reflection stared back, then smiled. I wasn't smiling. It mouthed something I couldn't hear. Then it reached out of the mirror, fingers pushing through the glass like it was water, and grabbed the edge. I sprinted out of the store, hearing the mirror shatter behind me. At 4:50 a.m., the maintenance hallway door was ajar. A cold breeze came from inside. Something was scraping the walls. Then I heard it. My name whispered. Over and over. Denny, Denny, come in, please. I'm trapped, it's dawn. Please, I need your help. I knew it wasn't him, but my legs moved anyway. I stepped inside the hallway. Everything was concrete and darkness. Flickering bulbs overhead, dust thick in the air. And then I saw him, sitting at the end of the hallway, legs splayed, blood leaking from his ears, except Don was outside when I arrived. I tried to back up, but the door behind me slammed shut. Don's head jerked up. His eyes were gone. His mouth opened, and his voice, my voice, screamed, "You broke the rules!" The walls started pulsing. I couldn't breathe. Then everything went black. I woke up lying on the tile in front of the Cinnabon, nose bleeding, ears ringing. The mall was dead quiet again. Lights off. 5:59 a.m. I bolted for the exit and barely made it to my car before the first rays of light broke over the horizon. I wasn't going to return, but the deposit hit again, $2,000 this time. And a note was under my apartment door. No return address. Just, one more shift, finish it, or it follows you. I arrived at the mall, same van, still no driver. Only this time, the front doors were already open. Lights were already on, and the food court had guests sitting at tables, eating food that shouldn't exist anymore. A woman slurping Rack's roast beef. A man reading a 1992 newspaper. I walked past Mr. Teller. He was wearing a new suit. White. Clean. Fresh. He looked at me and smiled. At 2 a.m. I passed the carousel. The horses weren't there anymore. Just poles. And blood. The boy in the red hoodie stood next to it, holding something in his hand. Uncrushed radio. At 3:33 a.m., the food court clock stopped ticking. It showed 00:00. The world flickered. I heard hundreds of footsteps coming from every direction. I ran, but the mall changed. Storefronts warped, ceilings melted, escalators turned into ribs. The whole mall shifted into something alive. At 4 a.m., I passed a mirror. There were 3 of me. One smiled. One cried, one was screaming and covered in blood. I shattered the glass with my flashlight, but they kept watching. I made it to the service hallway at 5:45 a.m. There were exit signs, green and glowing. I reached for the handle, but a voice whispered, "You didn't feed me." The dog, it was in the hallway now. Dead eyes, snarling mouth. Behind it came the mannequin. Behind him, the boy, the woman, the other me. They filled the hall, closing in. I sprinted for the elevator, the one place I'd been told to never go. It dinged open. Inside was me, the other me, bleeding, smiling, holding out a hand. I stepped in. He said, "Going down?" and pressed the button. The elevator didn't stop. It just went down, past every basement level, past anything that should exist. I saw things out the glass. Rooms full of mannequins moving like insects. Endless rows of mirrors showing me doing things I'd never done. A room where Don stood alone, staring into nothingness. Then the lights flickered, the elevator stopped, the doors opened. I was back in the food court, except it was full of people. All of them were me. Hundreds. Some crying, some bleeding, some dead. All staring, then, in unison, they whispered, "You broke the rules. It's 6 a.m. now, but I can't leave. I've tried every door. I smashed the windows, they just lead back inside. Dawn is gone. Mr. Teller wears my face now. The dog won't stop whispering. The boy in the red hoodie sits beside me, watching, waiting. They said if I broke the rules, I'd be trapped. I didn't believe them, but this place, it feeds on belief. Now I'm part of it. If you ever get a job offer to guard an abandoned mall in Michigan, don't take it. And if you do, follow the rules. Every single one. Because if you don't, they make a new one, and this time,